Good evening, everyone. I thought I would do a little video update, let everybody know how yesterday and today went. Um, Bear with me, my brain is just, it's hard for me to concentrate and I'm having trouble finding words when I need them, so if I take breaks or pauses or ramble on, just bear with me. Went to the appointment yesterday. Of course, I was scheduled at 8. Didn't even sit in the chair until like 10:45, I think. They do blood work when you first go in to make sure that your white blood cells and everything else is adequate to be able to start. And that took a while, but everything came back fine. And they have to, mix all the drugs and double check everything. So I finally went in and they start you on what they call your pre-meds, which is 2 IV bags full of anti-nausea. They're long-acting. That's what keeps people from not being so sick these days. That's why everybody says chemo's changed. And they also give you a big dose of steroids. I don't know what it was or whatever. And I know I asked, I can't remember the answer, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, I don't know, but it's, I guess, to head off any inflammation or any problems that might arise from the injections or whatever. I don't know. But they started me off on the first one. That went great. It took like 20 minutes. Jackie was getting some breakfast tacos when I was on my first bag, and it looked really good. It was surprisingly good because it was from the hospital gift shop store. So I asked Chris to go get me one, and he was like, just before he came back, they had switched my bags, and he had come back, and I started eating my taco. All of a sudden I started feeling, just like, from me starting to feel sick until the rest of the story that happens, it was literally like seconds. I started feeling sick and I motioned for him to get me the trash can, and all of a sudden, just in the same breath of me telling him to get the trash can, I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was on fire. I lifted my arm up and looked at it, and it was as red as this bracelet. I was just panicking, and I stood up to take my jacket off because I went in with a hoodie on. And, oh yeah, that's another thing that happened, my damn port, but I'll get to that in a minute. The tube coming out of my chest was taped to my shoulder onto my jacket, and I got off the chair on the wrong side of the IV machine, so I was all tangled up, and Jackie was like pulling my jacket, and it was pulling on my tubes, and I couldn't breathe, and my kidneys started feeling like they were going to explode. I was like, what's happening to me? I was freaking out. They had to shove a ton of Benadryl into my IV and put me on oxygen and all kinds of stuff, but apparently the good anti-nausea drug, the one that's supposed to be like the best kind, or the one that works the best or whatever, I'm allergic to. Never been allergic to a thing in my life. I don't even get allergies. If I do, it's crazy rare. But, so yeah, I'm allergic to that one. And they had to change my IV lines to make sure that whatever was in there didn't go through with the saline and all of that. But anyway, that was enough drama. But earlier, my port, because it's still, you see it's still pretty bruised and it's really tender. And you can even see that little mark right there. It's where they stuck me. Apparently, like, if you're laying back or if you're sitting forward, the pressures inside the chamber or whatever change, and they stuck me with one. There's like sits like this, and then a little needle comes out, and that's what goes in. And it was 3/4 of an inch, and apparently wasn't long enough, so they're sitting there and nothing's going, trying to push the saline to clean out the tubes. Nothing was working. And so, of course, they're sitting there using their fingers, moving it around and pushing on it and prodding on it. That was a lot of fun. But then they went ahead and figured out that the catheter was too short. I had to pull it out, put a new one in that was an inch long, and they call it port aerobics because apparently happens all the time. You have to figure out, you know, if you have to lay this way or sit up or lay back to figure out how to get the pressures to change. And so, but that worked. But then throughout the whole day, the whole thing leaked. They couldn't figure out why it was leaking. And of course, you know, you've got the chemo drugs that, you know, are not probably good on skin. I know for sure the red one is no good for skin. They gown up and everything when they push it. It was just in a little tube. It wasn't, you know, like a drippy bag. But anyway, it dripped all day. My shirt was wet and cold. They think it was because they poked 2 holes in it and it was coming out of the other hole. But anyway, other than that, I kind of just slept throughout the whole thing. Well, they woke me up every 10 minutes because they had to take my temperature and my blood pressure after the allergic reaction. But everything else went fairly well. I didn't get sick. I got up and peed 30 times, which is good. My pee was pink for a while after they pushed the red drug. I was gonna have a name of them, but I forgot. I think it was, I can't remember, but anyway, it's red and it makes your pee pink. But I felt just really tired yesterday after we got home. I laid in bed the rest of the day, napped a couple of times, and ended up going to sleep at about 11, and I slept till about 11 today, which was really nice. On the way home, I started noticing I couldn't see anything. Everything I looked at was completely blurry. It didn't feel like I had glasses on at all. I have prescription sunglasses, and I noticed I couldn't see people's license plates. I couldn't read street signs or anything, so I called and asked, and apparently that's a side effect of steroids. And if you see my lovely healthy glow, apparently that's a thing from steroids too. My cheeks have been bright red all day long. I've been keeping an eye on my temperature, which is really weird. It's like 98 degrees. Apparently that's normal as well, not to have a normal temperature. And I'm pretty steady right now, but all day long I've been shaking like crazy, and apparently that's another side effect of the steroids. But that'll all go away. And today I've been really weak and really tired. I feel okay right now because I've been on the couch all day, and Chris has been feeding me and lots of drinks and stuff. He's the water Nazi. We've got these bottles that we use, so we don't use plastic bottles, you know, and recycle and all that, because it's just, I don't know, we use these and refill these every day, and they're 20 ounces each, so he's watching me all day. I don't know if you can see it, there's little marks on here, keeps tabs of how much I'm drinking. I'm supposed to drink 64 ounces of fluid, water, Gatorade, juices, and stuff like that. I couldn't drink water yesterday. It made me sick. It tasted like I was drinking chemo drugs or something. And every time they push the saline, even between each drug, they clean out your lines, and they screw on this syringe and push this saline drug instantly. I could taste it. I could feel it in the back of my nose. It felt like when you open an alcohol pad and you could feel it burn in the back of your nose. It was awful, but every time I drank water, it was like that. And so yesterday, all I could do was, we got some Kool-Aid singles and poured it in a bottle of water, and that's how I got my water yesterday. But today, that's my second bottle of water, and I've drank a whole Gatorade, so I'm at like, I can't do math right now, 40 and 16, 56 ounces. So just a little bit more left, and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm sure I'll get it in somewhere in there. But other than that, I feel okay. Just weak, tired. Stomach cramps really bad. Every time I put anything on my lips, my stomach cramps up. Apparently that's a normal thing too from all the steroids and the drugs and all of that. Chris is actually at the store right now getting me a prescription for that to help with that. Sorry. He's getting me some bactine because I have terrible dry mouth. That's apparently normal too. And something else, I can't remember. But anyway, I probably should wrap this up. I'm going on 11 minutes here. But if you have any questions or whatever, feel free to comment. Also, for everybody else this gets emailed to, you can subscribe to my videos. So whenever I post a new video, you will be alerted. And that way you can keep up if you want. Okay. See you later.